Hey, Hattie, can you hear me?
I can.
So Wendy told me to tell you that she is really upset because she hasn't got any fish from Keith lately.
You tell her that my boy has not salmon or steelhead fished this year.
Really?
Really, there is no salmon and steelhead fish out there.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he would usually drive to Alsea.
Yeah.
And fish for him like on a week. He'd get up at 3:00 in the morning, so he's first on bank, sleep in his car for a minute.
Yep.
So yeah, so tell her that.
Okay. I'll tell her.
No salmon either.
She'll be disappointed.
I know.
I think she's just trying to get a freeload out of it.
No, Keith loves Wendy. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, she says that he doesn't even like the fish, to eat the fish.
He doesn't eat fish, and he's a bass fisherman. He has a bass boat, and he professionally fishes on the Oregon team. And
really?
Yeah, he's made regionals 3 years in a row.
Wow. That's cool.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'll tell Wendy that.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Can everyone see my screen okay?
I can.
Thank you.
I don't know where everybody else is, though. We still got a couple minutes.
Hey, Ricardo.
Hi there.
Hey, Amber, if I forget to ask for the comments from the audience, please interrupt me before I end the meeting and let me know, okay?
Terry, were you just talking to me?
I was.
Hold on, I can't hear you for some reason.
Can you hear me now?
Talk again.
Okay, can you hear me now, Amber?
Yeah.
Okay. I just said if I forget for some reason ever during a board meeting, when we're doing the virtual, for comments from the audience, please remind me after board comments before I close the meeting, please.
Okay, will do.
Thank you.
Looks like we're still waiting for all the other board members.
I wonder if they realize that it's at 5:30.
Let me text them all.
Okay.
Ricardo, you over in Bend? Nice. Is it nice over there? I can't hear you. You're on mute, actually.
There.
Oh, there you go.
Yes, I'm in Bend, and yes, it's nice at the moment.
Yeah.
I was in Salem earlier this week. Man, it's hot.
I know, isn't it? It's weird. It's supposed to be really hot this weekend.
Yeah, I saw 99 on the forecast, right, for Sunday.
Yeah, it's too
That's
bad.
warm.
Mhm. Yeah, it is. I'm killing all the plants at my house. Hey, Melissa. No, hear you. Can you talk again? No, I can't hear you.
Melissa, do we need to get you a Google or what? A Google Chrome or what do we call it? A Chromebook or something?
It's weird because it shows that she's not muted, but I can't hear her. Is your microphone like, is the volume up on your microphone maybe?
Thanks, Amber. I was just going to say that.
No.
Well, I don't know what to do. Hey, Brad.
Yes.
So, we don't have a quorum, but this is pretty important stuff with the blueprint. So I don't know.
Sorry.
It's just 5:32. Let's give a couple more minutes, and then we'll call. Dewey knew it was 5:30, so no. Did he say he was going to be a few minutes late? He said he was going to be till 6.
Yeah.
Because he was working. And
I'm
then
not sure where Kay's at.
but let me call Kay.
Hey, Melissa, is your computer a portable one, a laptop?
She put in the notes that my mic shows on, level is all up. I actually have 2 mics, tried both. Also rebooted, not sure why it isn't working. On my laptop, everything up to date with Windows 10.
Yeah. Melissa, are you interested in bringing it into Chris Sullivan, have him look at it?
You mean Chris Shaw?
Yeah, Chris Shaw.
Chris Shaw, Chris Sullivan. We got a couple.
Too many Chris's.
There's a lot of Chris's. There's even more than that.
I know.
Melissa, have you always used Firefox? Have you tried to log into Google?
That's what I was going to say. Or like, do you have the Google Meets app on your phone, maybe on your iPhone? That's how sometimes I'll get on, is with my phone through the Google Meets app.
Gotcha.
Google.
In a worst case scenario, I think your meeting invitation also has a call-in number, so you could do the audio with your cell phone.
Yes. Thank you, Ricardo.
Terry?
Yes.
Tracy is getting on now, and Kay she's trying, and she's having some technical issues.
Okay. So we'll wait.
I know what you mean, Melissa, about the feedback thing, and I think if you hung up the Google Meets here and just came in through your phone, we wouldn't get that feedback. Because then at least you'd be able to talk to us. You know what I mean? If you hang up here, Melissa, and then call in with your phone, it won't give us that feedback, and we'd still be able to talk with you and have a dialect with you then.
Well, I think we had because Amber, you called Amber's phone and she had it on speaker. So you can talk to us.
Hello.
Hey, we got Kay. Kay, we're waiting a few more minutes on Tracy to see if he gets online.
Okay.
He just came on.
Okay.
Melissa, I'm going to send you the phone number real quick, or do you have it right there in front of you?
Tracy's on.
Okay, we want to wait a few minutes for Melissa to try
There you go,
that.
Melissa. I put it in the chat. I put the phone number and the pin in the chat.
Sure.
We'll wait a few more minutes.
Yeah, and actually, Melissa, I don't think you need to hang up here where we can see you. You won't get you shouldn't get the feedback if you call in. We'll try.
So are we waiting for her to call in, or what's the deal?
Yeah, we're just waiting to see if she can call in real quick.
Okay.
Oh, there we go. I think you're there now, Melissa.
Can you talk, Melissa?
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay. I have to turn this volume down, otherwise I have a really bad echo. So.
Okay. So are you with us?
Yeah, it's a little clunky because I have to mute and unmute through my screen, which it doesn't really like to do. So.
Okay. Okay, so with that, I'd like to welcome everybody to this meeting on Thursday at 5:30, August 13th, 2020, and we will do the flag salute. So I will start it. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America.
And
to the
republic for which it stands, one nation,
under God,
indivisible,
with liberty
and justice for all.
Okay, thank you guys. The next order of business is roll call. So Melissa, are you here?
I think I'm here.
Okay. Kay.
Yes, I'm here.
Okay. Tracy.
Present.
Okay. Dewey is not here yet. Is that right?
That's correct.
Okay. So, and I, Terry Cumlati, I'm present. So we are going to now do number 3, review and adjust and approve the agenda. So if there are no adjustments, I will entertain a motion.
I move we approve the agenda as stand out.
Okay, Kay, move that we approve the agenda. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay, so Kay moved that we approve the agenda, and Tracy seconded it. So any discussion? Seeing none, I'll call for the vote. Melissa?
Aye.
Okay, Kay?
Aye.
Tracy?
Aye.
Okay, chair votes aye. Okay, new business, superintendent update. Okay, I want to do something a little bit different here because I noticed one of the things that we did at the last meeting is we tended to talk over each other when we all wanted to talk about a specific subject, no matter what it was. So I think after we, the person speaking, and for example, Brad gives us a superintendent update. If he stops and ask if there's any questions, I'll go around and ask you all individually so that we don't end up talking over each other. I'm just trying to make it a little bit more clear and a little bit more easier to understand, if that's okay. So with that, Brad, the superintendent update, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Chair Kamalade, members of the board. Good evening. I want to begin with tonight with a fiscal update from the legislative session from earlier this week. Happy to report that the state school fund will remain fully funded at $9 billion. This means that JSD will not have to make any cuts in spending this fiscal year. Our approved budget will remain as planned. So we're very excited about that news. Measure 98 will also be fully funded for the 2021 school year, which is our funding that supports CTE. The SSA account, or Student Investment Account, SIA, will be funded at $150 million. This is about a third of the funding estimate provided to us pre-COVID-19. So that's a little over $200,000 for JSD. Once our allocation is determined, we will be looking at our SIA plan to see how we want to amend it for fitting into a comprehensive distance learning model. That's welcome news for everyone here tonight. Any questions on that piece?
So, Melissa, do you have any questions on that?
No, I don't think so. Not at this time. When do you anticipate the updates for how you're going to be using the SIA funding?
Yeah, great question. A couple weeks. I want to get rolling with school first, and as we put the finishing touches on our plans, then I'm going to start assembling folks to start looking at our SIA plan and seeing how we're going to adjust.
Okay, and with I guess I have one more a little bit. And with not being quite open or having a normal year, could you also explain or be prepared to explain in the future what our Measure 98 dollars are going to look like? Because we're probably going to be modified in how we, do CTE this next year. What's that gonna look like for our district?
Yeah. Absolutely. Not prepared tonight, but definitely we'll be including that as we move forward.
Yeah, I figured you wouldn't have it tonight, but it'd be nice to know what that, how that could be used if we're in online, or modified coming up. So.
Yep. Good.
Okay, hang on, Brad. Let me ask if there's anybody else that has any questions.
You bet.
So, Kay, do you have any questions?
No questions at this time.
Tracy, you have any questions?
None at this time.
Okay, go ahead, Brad.
Thank you. Tonight, you are receiving our blueprint that identifies that we're using a comprehensive distance learning model. Our charge is to identify our model, give a copy to the Marion County Health Department, submit it to ODE, and present it to the board. We have accomplished these steps, and then tonight I am presenting to you our plan for moving forward. While our required blueprint is presented here tonight, I wanted to share that leadership has been looking at all of the requirements set out by ODE, and we are aligning all of our specific plans to those requirements. We are still in the process of creating these plans and vetting them with staff, And so we will have a completed plan here next week, but we're still meeting with staff and working on that. Comprehensive distance learning model means that Jefferson will be holding all of its classes online in the fall, and we're going to be offering 2 versions. Jefferson Connect is a comprehensive teacher-directed online education model. This model connects teachers with students in our only learning management platform. Here, students interact with their teachers daily, receiving support and feedback as they receive a rigorous, comprehensive online education. This is a model that will transition to a hybrid model as the state begins to allow the return to in-person instruction. The other model is our Jefferson Odyssey. This is an online platform similar to an online charter school. Jefferson Odyssey is a collaboration between Jefferson School District and Edgenuity using their OdysseyWare platform. This is an established professional online platform where students can either use the platform in its entirety or can build a hybrid approach with Jefferson staff. In-person instruction in the hybrid model. So in order to resume in-person instruction in any form, including the hybrid instruction models where students are sometimes in classrooms and sometimes at home, we have to meet county metrics, and at 10 or fewer cases per 100,000 people over 7 days. And the test positivity rate has to be 5% or less over 7 days. The statewide metrics must be met for 3 weeks in a row and test positivity rate of 5% or less. Currently, the Marion County metrics are 70 per 100,000 and an 8.3 positivity rate statewide. The test positivity rate is 5.4. So a little ways to go. At this point, I am putting us into the comprehensive distance learning model until the metrics start to show a steady decline, and then we will look to be moving into a hybrid model once that occurs. School will look differently than it did in the spring. Key shifts include increased daily learning time, focus on teacher facilitated learning time, English language support and SPED support, or special education support, provided through real-time opportunities. Relationship and connection. We're going to be putting a heavy emphasis on that, building a lot of supports and teams to make sure that the care is there for our students. Daily real-time check-ins between students and staff, daily peer interaction, daily attendance, family engagement and communication, family parent virtual connections that will be happening at least 4 times a year, and family and student feedback at least 3 times per year, digital learning needs. The infrastructure, the devices, software systems, all of that are going to be changes, and I'm going to talk about those in just a second. But those are some of the shifts from the spring, where we were really in this emergency kind of, we needed to shift in 2 weeks, get everybody online, to this is much more intensive, much more rigorous, much more intentional. And so in order to do that, we have to make sure that we have the infrastructure with our technology to make sure all students can be successful. So in that, I wanted to give you a little update there too. With our internet, we are doubling our bandwidth, and we should have this available in the next 2 weeks. Zoom, we are purchasing Zoom Pro licenses. We are getting 75 licenses, and all staff will have access to the basic license. This will allow our teachers to meet with students for over 40 minutes at a time and allow them to put students in small groups. Teachers requested Zoom as a result of having gone through the spring in our listening sessions the last couple of weeks. We were hearing about this, and we are making sure that they have the tools to be successful. We will have 1 webinar license as well to host town hall meetings. The board will also be able to use Zoom, which should take care of a lot of any glitches that we might have with this version that we're using today. And we hope also to be coming back into real person board meetings, and that should be, we should get some information in September on that. We purchased 70 laptops. We're hoping to have them by September 15th. Currently, we will be handing out Chromebooks to those who need them, like we did last spring. We've identified a need for 70 more, but supply chains are strained. So we feel confident we'll be able to supply all students with a Chromebook who needs one. We won't be getting those 70 until September 15th. So right around that first week of school. Khajiit is the name of what they call Wi-Fi hotspots. And we're purchasing 60 of those, 20 per school. This is going to help provide internet to those who don't currently have access to it. And we heard that some really experience some difficulty. So we can give some hotspots to make sure that those who really have struggled to get it have it. Online registration is ready to go for next week. For those who cannot register online, there will be an opportunity to register at the schools on August 27th. Details around that will be coming out from the schools. Blackboard communication is looking to be up and running in 2 weeks, and this is going to allow us to target our communications for specific groups of students, loan messages to different groups like all teachers or teachers at one school. So right now we're able to communicate, but we are somewhat hampered by our current software. We are Blackboard so that we're able to increase our ability to do that. PPE supplies. We are currently having all the supplies we need to clean buildings in between uses. Masks, signs, distancing, upgraded filters to improve ventilation, gloves, thermometers, hand washing stations. All of those have been ordered and will be in place in the fall and September. So when we do go back into a hybrid model, we will have all of the pieces that we need to be sure our staff and students are safe. Professional development. We purchased the K-12 professional development package for all of our teachers. They will have access to 13 hours of online professional development on how to be effective online teachers. And that is, we should have access to that by Monday and be giving that out to our teachers. Governor Brown approved $150 million for additional needs to allow school districts to operate online. JSD is getting $138,000 of that. These monies are paying for much of the technology I described above, as well as the professional development. We also are asked to put a communicable disease management plan together. That is currently being created and vetted with our ESD nurse as well as our staff. And the plan incorporates the Oregon Department of Education's health guidance that came out this week. Teachers will be teaching daily, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday. Wednesdays will be used for care team meetings, professional development, grade level planning, and communication with students and families. Care team is when we identify if there's a student struggling. A team is gathered to talk and figure out who is the best person to reach out to that student. So Wednesdays will be used for that as well. Teaching will be synchronous and asynchronous, which means that teachers will be teaching in real time with students each day, but students will have the ability to watch lessons they missed too in the event there will be a problem attending that session. Students will be expected to attend class virtually each day. Attendance will be taken. There will be student expectations around attendance and participation, among others. Students will receive grades and will have supports in place to help them, whether that be academic or social emotional. Testing, we're still waiting here about our state testing requirements. So not too much to report at this point. Sports, all sports have been moved to the winter and to the spring. They will have shortened seasons for each sport. All of those, of course, will be determined upon the virus and the progress we make there. Student fees, I'm happy to relay to you that tonight we are waiving all student fees this fall. This should help families impacted by the downturn in the economy.
Hey, Brad, can you
Yeah.
give a minute to see if anybody has any questions about what you just spoke about? Not the fees, but everything prior to that.
Yeah.
So, Kate, do you have any questions?
Not at this time.
Tracy, any questions?
No, sir, not right now.
And I see Dewey came on. Dewey, you have any questions?
No, it all sounds good.
Okay, Melissa, do you have any more questions?
Yes, I've got a question.
That's fine.
So I have a couple of questions about, you mentioned that you're going to have Monday through Friday instruction. You said you're going to have real-time instruction with expected attendance, but that students could also access that later, and that they would have supports in place. What kind of school day are you expecting with your with real-time instruction? And then what would that look like for kids that maybe needed to access it later or that were having difficulty?
Thank you. A couple answers on that one. First of all, we in our plan that we're putting out next week, we're going to have a diagram that shows the recommended hours per day, and principals will be meeting with families and giving students the specifics around that, which is still part of my presentation tonight. So I'll be giving some more information on that. But there will have there's recommended like 2.5 hours a day for a kid for each student for a certain grade level. The online learning, and then there's applied learning that goes along with that. So not all of it's going to be, sitting down in front of a computer, but part of it will be, and then they'll be asked to do assignments. So let's say they talk about, outlining an essay and what that looks like, or a statement, and then in the synchronous lesson, and then the students might go and work on that, and then return back the next day and talk about it or submit something to the teacher online. So it'll the specifics though about that will be explained well in advance before school starts to families, so everyone knows that expectation on a daily basis.
And could you? Oh, sorry. So that helps a little bit. And then can you touch a little bit? You said that you would have some increased daily real-time supports for SPED, English language learners, some peer interactions. So can you tell me a little bit about what that might look like for our students?
Yeah, so I'm going to give you an abbreviated version because, again, we're still putting these supports together and still working in teams to identify what these supports are going to look like. But at this point, what we're looking at is pulling groups for, let's say, English learners, making sure that they have the ability to meet with a teacher in small groups. Sometimes it might be with an IA. So they might do some of their instruction online, and then with a teacher, some with an IA, some small groups. I'll be talking in a minute about how we can put people in the small group online. And then we're looking for ways we can also support students in a very small setting with students, if they need to have come to school and so forth. But we're still, we just received guidance on that this week, and we're still looking at a team as to how we can do that.
Okay. All right. I think that's all I have for questions. I'm trying to think if I had any more about the things that you had brought up. Well, if it comes back up, I'll ask later.
Thank you.
I think that was helpful. Thanks.
Yes. Just to confirm too, it's Monday through Friday, but Wednesdays are used for there's no there's no instruction on Wednesdays. Wednesdays are time to connect with students. So there'll be team, there'll be professional development for staff. There'll be office hours where staff will be reaching out to students and checking in on them. So that's that day. It's Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday are instructional day.
Are you planning on those Wednesdays being their teachers or like the secretary calling the parent to find out why the student hasn't been connecting?
Well, I mean, I guess, theoretically it could be both, but the way we're designing it and looking at it is time where we can connect with students in meaningful ways. So
Okay.
in some ways it might be teachers connecting. Students might have questions about things that were taught they want to connect with their teacher on. Could be the counselors connecting with students, care team reaching out, that kind of thing.
Okay.
Hey,
Okay. I would prefer if I could add a parent segue into that. That personal contact is a lot better than the other version. So thank you.
Yes.
Brad, Tracy Rowe has a question for you.
Yes, sir.
I think it was covered. Melissa kind of touched base on it. I was, genuinely interested in what we were going to be doing with our students that are on IEPs that have instructional assistants, regular one-on-one with them, SLP, things of that sort, the kids that really need the social emotional learning attention. So I don't know if you hit on all of that, Brad, but I'm just kind of adding on with Melissa.
Yeah, no, great question. There are significant supports for our students on IEPs, 504s, and there's a lot of guidance that's coming out that Tracy's sifting through this week. Yes, we're going to definitely be. It's going to look very different this fall. Lots of supports in place, and IEPs will be. And all the accommodations for students are still in place. Okay. Couple more notes on the plan. The planning that's currently underway is we've had two administrator planning sessions, and we've had each leader gather a team to review our plans and give feedback to them. We found this process was very helpful in identifying some of the needs and potential challenges that need to be addressed. For Zoom, for example, was one that came from staff saying that they really prefer to use that model. And so we purchased it as a result. Principals are finalizing their plans and creating several one-page documents to guide staff so that they have their answers prior to beginning school. Principals will be sharing their work with the whole staff this week and next for continued feedback. So the next steps. Principals are going to be filming a short presentation to be posted on their websites and given to families next week. These presentations, the filming will be done next week. We won't necessarily present next week. These presentations will give parents the nuts and bolts of what the fall is going to look like. They will then host a series of meetings using Zoom once our Zoom package is complete, which we're hoping to be about mid next week, and their communication is set up. We're going to have each school post when these meetings will be, and that will be posted next week so that parents can have several days in advance notice of how to connect with their principal and ask a lot more specific questions about what school is going to look like at their school. All of this probably sounds overwhelming. There's a lot of information and perhaps information overload for those listening. But while we've done a lot to prepare for the fall, we still have a lot more to do. We are putting together a Q&A for parents that's going to be coming out soon. We have more details to figure out and put into our communications to staff. But tonight I just wanted to kind of give you an overview and some of the highlights so you can get a sense of what comprehensive distance learning looks like. Any more questions on the blueprint?
Okay, Tracy, you have any more questions?
No, sir.
Dewey? Must not have a question. Kay?
Nothing here, Terry.
Okay, good. Kay,
No
you have any?
questions.
Okay, Melissa, any more?
Yeah. So we'll be in this online mode for a while, but we had a pretty comprehensive hybrid model in place before we kind of got thrown back into this online version. And with the exception of the, the governor updating to everyone in masks and, you know, kind of some fine tuning on cohorting. So I'm curious if the back burner plan is still going to be worked on during all of this, you know, in the event that we finally get some metrics and can do the modified opening.
Yeah, good question. Yes, the answer to your question is yes. The hybrid model is almost complete, and we stopped it when we had to change direction. But that doesn't mean we're stopping to work on it. So we're putting this in place. It's on my whiteboard as a next step, and it will be finishing the hybrid. Some of the details, like I said, most of the details are figured out, but the ones that aren't, in sort of, you know, like facilities and, you know, sort of some of the pieces there that we're still working on, we'll be working on in September, late August, early September. So before we go into any hybrid situation, we'll be ready.
Okay, Brad, you want to continue on?
Yeah. I'm moving to another subject right now. I'm talking about the proposed amphitheater. This week, as you know, I pulled the discussion of the amphitheater from the agenda. Originally, the plan was to complete the bidding process and present those to you tonight. We also were planning to have Ricardo here and drawings showing you the visuals and the scope, and we were planning on giving you a full presentation so you could see what it would look like, and we could have a conversation about the bids and seeing how we wanted to move forward. As you know, as I explained in an email to you, that the bids came in higher than anticipated. And so we had budgeted $150,000 to restore the area where the old middle school had been, and the lowest bid came in at $268,000. Originally, our design team, Steel Architects, created plans that should have been in the ballpark of what we were hoping to accomplish. The market is the way it is today, that it just, as the bids are coming in higher than anticipated. So here's what I'd like to do. I would like to not make any decisions tonight, or changes about anything, but I would like to have time to look into our options. And I would like to bring to the board options, including potential scaled back version of the amphitheater that's within budget, or a grass covered area with irrigation. I'd like us to have a good discussion about the future of that land at that time. Really not prepared to have it tonight, but just wanted to let you know that even though this is a setback, we're going to need some time to understand and to be able to present the board a better, more information so that we can make a better decision in the future. Just a note about the loan. As you know, we took out a $600,000 loan to pay for restoring the area and for the demolition and for the playground at JES. At least 15% of that loan needs to be spent within six months after closing date, and 50% within 12 months. So our design team was paid a lump sum to design the amphitheater, and Ricardo's going to ask them to scale back the project, and this will not cost the district any more money. So we'd like to proceed with that. And then once we have those drawings, I can have a better understanding as to the feasibility of the project, and we can talk about the future. So I was thinking about bringing this back to the board in October to discuss further. Questions?
Is that all you have about the amphitheater, Brad?
Yes.
Okay. Does anybody have any questions? Melissa? She wrote a note, Brad, that says, "Are there any penalties for?" Oh shoot! What does it say? It says, "Are there any penalties for reducing the loan or early repayment?"
No, there are no penalties as long as it's done in a timely manner. So I have it right here. So the outstanding balance to be prepaid within 30 days written notice to the lender on any payment date of 103% in par in years 1 and 2. So we just need to be able to give a 30-day written notice.
Okay. Okay. Decay, you have any questions?
No, I don't.
Okay, Tracy, you have any questions?
Not at this time.
Okay, and Dewey, do you have any questions?
No, it sounds like we're on page for that, so we can understand what the good decision we need to make is. So I'm fine with that.
Okay, so Brad, I have a question, and that is, we're still doing a scale back on the design. There's no cost to that. Is that correct? Is that what you thought that we're going to try and be able to get?
That's correct. We paid them a lump sum, and Ricardo is going to be reaching back to them to do a scale back model, and it won't cost the district anymore.
Okay. Okay. And then by October, you are going to have different options for us on what the either scale back model is, or what the cost to regrass it and irrigation and so on and so on. That's what you're talking about?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Thank you.
Okay. So is there any other part you want to talk about on your superintendent report?
No, my report is finished for tonight.
Okay. So we're going to move on to the food service report. And as you guys notice I don't know if you guys did everybody get the agenda with the food service update? Did anybody not get it? It's hard to tell because I don't know if maybe everybody's on mute or.
No, I'm good, Terry.
Okay, you got. Okay, so every year about this time we always do an update, or we talk about what the food service meal price is. And this year we have an update from Lisa Buskirk that says they want to increase lunches on all 3 schools to 10 cents. And then on the breakfast is all 3 schools to 10 cents. And she gives a little explanation of what our limit is by the state requirement, and how we round it off to 5 or 10%. So this is something that we as a board have to vote on. And so does anybody have any questions that Brad can maybe answer for us if you need to? I'll go around and ask everybody. Kay, do you have any questions?
No questions at this time.
Okay, Tracy, you have any questions?
Not at this time.
Okay, Dewey, you have any questions about this?
So when you're saying 10 cents, it's an increase, a total cost of 10 cents?
Correct.
Okay. No more questions.
Yeah, both the lunch and the breakfasts are all increased 10 cents in all 3 schools. Melissa, do you have any questions about it? So I take that as a no. So I'll entertain a motion on accepting this increase in the rates for our food.
I'll make the motion that the Jefferson School District accept the recommendations of the food service program to increase the lunch and breakfast service at all 3 campuses 10 cents per meal for the 2020-2021 school year.
Okay, thank you, Tracy. Tracy moved it. Is there a second?
I'll second it. Kay Jones.
Okay, so it's been moved by Tracy and second by Kay Jones. Is there any other discussion? Seeing none, I'll call for the vote. So Kay, how do you vote?
Aye.
Tracy, how do you vote?
Aye.
Dewey, how do you vote?
Aye.
Melissa, how do you vote?
Aye.
Okay, and chair votes aye. Okay. So the next part of the agenda is Kay, do you have any board comments?
No, I would like to share that the webinar I attended yesterday was for board chairs, and they basically pointed people back to the policies for the districts.
Okay, good. Good. Okay, Tracy, do you have any comments?
None at this time. Thank you.
Dewey, do you have any comments?
No comment here.
Okay, Melissa, do you have any comments? I take that as none. Oh, go ahead.
No comments.
Okay. So now we're going to move to the comments from the audience. Amber, did we get any comments from the audience?
No, I'm sorry. We did not get any comments from the audience.
Okay.
Oh, look at this.
So with that, I would like to thank each and every one of you board members, administrators, and people listening in for your time during the middle of a busy week to come to this meeting. So thank you and good night.
Good
Good
night.
night. Thank you very much.